Hello, and welcome to From God's Heart to Mine. Hope you're having a great day. Thanks for joining me as we aim to draw nearer to God every day. Today we're going to meditate on Genesis 1 and verse 1. And as we do that, we'll think about change. Change is something that many people do not like or enjoy. We like to be in control of our situation and the world around us. We like to predict and be able to predict what's coming, and we don't often like the uncertainty of life and the way that things can change suddenly, quickly, or even over a period of many years, and we look back and realize how different things are than they used to be. Well, change is part of this world because as time passes, things change. But in Genesis 1, verse 1, we are introduced to something and someone who does not change. Genesis 1:1 says, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." Because God was there in the beginning, meaning he was also there before the beginning, God does not change. The God we serve today is the same God who created in Genesis 1, verse 1. Because there's no passing of time for God where he becomes different. He is who he has always been. In his own words in Exodus 3, he said, "I am who I am." God is immutable. Immutable is a big word for unchanging. And it's used in Hebrews chapter 6 a couple times to talk about God's will and God's promises that they do not change. And God's will does not change because he does not change. Psalm 90, verse 2 says, "Before the mountains were brought forth, or ever you had formed the earth and the world, even from everlasting to everlasting, you are God." We think about from everlasting to everlasting. It's this idea of eternity before the world and eternity after the world. God is the same. He is who he is. And so in the midst of a world and a life where things change so often, and we struggle with change, change can make us sad, change can hurt. We might sometimes fear change or have worry or anxiety over what might change. Yet as Christians, we are blessed to know a God who simply does not change. His character is the same today as it has always been. His nature will be the same as long as we live and longer on this earth. God is who he is. And so in the midst of a world that changes so quickly, so often, we can always trust God. That's the author of Hebrews' point in Hebrews chapter 6. That God's will, his counsel, does not change. And so when God makes a promise of something that will be done, you know that it will be fulfilled in the way that it was said. We can trust God's word. We can trust his salvation. We can trust his promises because he himself is trustworthy. In the beginning, God created. And the same God who created the heavens and earth then and called all things good is the same good God that we are privileged to serve today. When you pray today, you might be talking to God about things going on in your life, struggles you're dealing with. Maybe things you're worried will change for the worse, or you might be praying about things that have changed for the worse. But remember that when you pray to God, he is the same unchanging God who has blessed you before and will bless you again and is even taking care of you now. He never changes. He is who he is. And you can always come before his throne humbly to receive his grace and mercy to help in time of need. Thanks for listening to From God's Heart to Mine. You can follow the podcast if you want to hear a new devotional thought every weekday. My name is Caleb Griffith. You can reach out to me on any platform, and I'll include you in my prayers today. Open your heart today to pursue God's heart and try to show his heart to others.